Episode 3. A fresh start, new plans, new look, new school year. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Perfect with Pani Dianka. I hope you're all doing well and feeling ready to tackle whatever comes your way. Today, I want to talk about something that feels like a personal milestone for me. The beginning of the school year and how things are finally starting to fall into place. You know, the beginning of the school is always a bit chaotic. There's so much to plan, organize, and coordinate. But the good news is that the hardest part is now behind me. I've managed to create a solid plan for the year, and I feel much more prepared. It's taken so much time to get here, but with a good strategy in place, I can now focus on the fun parts of teaching and learning with my students. One of the biggest changes for me this year is that I've completely renovated my classroom. Over the past few weeks, I've been busy painting walls, rearranging furniture, and adding new decorations. I wanted to create a space that feels fresh and inspiring, not just for my students, but for me as well. The crisp air of autumn and the changing colors of the leaves outside inspired me to bring a sense of renewal into my classroom. I think the environment we work and learn in has a big impact on how we feel, and I wanted my students to come back to something that felt new and exciting. Changing up the classroom decor wasn't just about aesthetics though. As we move deeper into autumn, I'm reminded that this season is a time of transformation, not just in nature, but also in our routines and mindset. I wanted the classroom to reflect that sense of change. So it's a place where my students can feel motivated and inspired. Of course, despite all the progress, there's still a bit of chaos. It's inevitable at the start of the new school year. There are always last-minute changes, new schedules to figure out, and a few things that still need tweaking. But the most important part is that I've been able to organize everything and get my classroom ready for the year ahead. I've put the hard work, and now I'm ready to find my rhythm in this new school year. The next challenge is setting into a routine. The beginning is always a bit of an adjustment period, whether you're a teacher, student, or even a parent. It can it can take some time to get used to the new pace. But once that initial rush of organization and planning is done, you start to find your flow. And for me, that moment when everything begins to click is what I'm looking forward to the most. I think one of the things that helps me settle into this new rhythm is reflecting on the changes that autumn brings. Autumn has always been a time for reflection for me. The cooler air and shorter days naturally encourage more moments of introspection. As we spend more time indoors, I find myself thinking about my goals for the year ahead and how I can better balance work, personal life, and learning. Speaking of new routines, as I mentioned in the last episode, I've started doing something new that helps me keep this balance. Every morning at 6:30, I go live on Instagram to study Italian. I don't speak during these sessions. I simply show how I study. It's become a peaceful way to start my day, and I find it incredibly grounding. Even on the busiest days, I make sure to fit in because it's something I do just for me. What I've learned from these early morning study sessions is that it's not about having a lot of time. It's about making time. That's why I love the idea that autumn is a season of transformation. As the leaves change, it reminds me that I can also adjust my routine and priorities. If I want to accomplish something, Whether it's personal growth or professional development, I just need to make space for it, even if it just takes a few minutes a day. There's something really satisfying about being able to look around and see all your hard work pay off. Planning lessons to physically preparing the classroom, it's all about setting a foundation for a successful year. Now that things are in place, I can focus on what I love most, teaching and connecting with my students. And even though there's still a lot of things to do, I'm trying to remind myself to take it one step at a time. It's easy to get overwhelmed with everything that needs to be done at the beginning of the year. But I've learned that pacing myself is key. I found that when I make a moment to pause and reflect, I am able to approach my work with more clarity and focus. And there's something I want to encourage all of you to do as well. Whether you're starting a new school year or facing any other big challenge, take it step by step. You don't have to do everything all at once. As autumn progresses and we settle into our routines, I encourage you to embrace the season of change and growth. Whether it's just finding time for personal projects, reflecting on your goals, or simply enjoying the crisp autumn air. Take this time to refresh and recharge. We all need moments of rest, and as the leaves fall and the days grow shorter, it's a reminder that we too can slow down, reflect, and adjust. Thank you so much for tuning in today, sharing this journey with me. I hope this episode gave you some inspiration to tackle your own challenges with a fresh perspective. I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, keep moving forward, keep learning, and keep growing. Goodbye!